Hello, hello. Oh gosh, great noise here right off the bat. Me dropping my phone. Hello, everybody. Sorry about the 4-minute delay. I thought we were going to get here right on time. I am fresh out of the shower, but we are cooking. We're ready to go here. Hope you all are having a good morning as we get set up here at the Combat Collective live for our final live stream of the year before the Havoc, the, I guess, cumulative edition. We will be back next year, of course, but our season finale for Before the Havoc right here today, talking about, let's think about it here. Oh my goodness, almost 24 robots that we're highlighting across these three weight classes, all of course championship level machines. We're talking about favorites and underdogs here in just a moment. We're getting live on Instagram right now. I'm getting that booted up. And of course, you're here on YouTube right now. One would assume, if you're watching it through this page. We'll be checking out the chat, of course, throughout the live stream. We keep it easy and quick here if you've never seen one of these before. Just an hour-long pre-show before the NHRL stream kicks off here. And hey, just about an hour, 55 minutes away. We might go a little overtime just to make it for the fact that I was a couple of minutes late. But you know how it goes here at the Combat Collective as we go ahead and start our Instagram live stream here. We will get going. I just got fresh out of the shower. I thought I was going to beat the clock, but this never goes that easily, never goes that smoothly. You know how it goes. But we are indeed here, and I have not forgotten to turn the live stream like I did last time for Instagram. So we're going to get that going, and then we are officially good pretty much at every angle. Set that, I don't know, about right, no? Looks like good. I guess that's pretty good right there. Live on Instagram in 3, 2, 1. We'll go ahead and cut to me too. Good morning, everybody. The Combat Collective here, as always, bringing everything y'all want to know for the world of robot combat from the heavyweight class, not at the flyweight class today, from the big three of the small bots world, featherweight, hobbyweight, and beetleweight. Of course, it is the NHRL finals, our third, I want to say third? I don't remember if we did it in 2022. I think we did it in 2022. Our third NHRL final stream, just a pre-show stream. As you can see, my dog peek out in the background. That was so cute. Trying to figure out what the hell I'm doing, why we're up so early. Hope you guys are enjoying your morning with me. Enjoying some Boston breakfast, as I always say. I got my breakfast at Champions right here. Hopefully I'm not burping all stream. Oh, excuse me, that's a great start. But, yes, we don't want to waste too much time here. We only get an hour, so hello everybody. This is the Combat Collective, our final NHRL live stream of the year. We have done every single event with a Before the Havoc pre-show this year. Pretty happy about that, considering how spotty and finicky I was over the last couple of years doing these NHRL live streams. Sometimes I promised a post-show stream, then one just wouldn't happen. Mid-event streams, it was sort of a mess, but we figured out the formula this year, and I'm super excited. And I'm super excited to talk about Norwalk Havoc with you guys today. As you can see here, let's go to our big overlay. We got the chat here. We got the, well, kind of got the chat here. We got a majority of the chat here. There we go. We got the chat here. We got me in reverse because I realized I was like covered by my own window every single time in the past. Hello, RoboSkills Iran, joining our live chat on Instagram Live. We'll chat you out if we see you on Instagram or YouTube in the chat. So be sure to say hello. I will send some love. RoboSkills Elon, Tart and Kiwi of the North, both joining on Instagram Live. Welcome aboard, guys. Good morning. Talking about Norwalk Havoc. We have just got started here to talking about the Norwalk Havoc finals for 2024. Lots of big name robots. A lot of robots we saw last year. A lot of robots we didn't see last year. And a couple of former NHRL world champions as well, trying to add another Golden Brett to their trophy case. And as always, we start off with the 3-pound class, work our way up to the 30-pound class, looking at brackets, looking at robots of promise. Like I said, usually I just highlight 4 robots in every single weight class. Where's my 4? There it is. 4 robots in every single weight class, and that's it, and that's that. But it is the finals. Every robot, in my opinion, is highlight worthy. So we've taken a little bit of a different change with this. We have 4 robots and 8 robots highlighting in each class, which under 2 different categories. We got favorites and we got underdogs. Underdogs might be a little bit of a interchangeable statement with maybe wild cards, because obviously I don't know how many underdogs are in an event like this. It is the World Championship. All these robots have qualified their way in, obviously, but we do have some very unique designs in this call. Starting with, well, there we go. Starting with our first group of underdogs in the beetaweight class. Some wild designs here, so you usually don't see the NHRL finals. Well, I guess not normally don't see in the NHRL finals, but you catch my gist. And we got a vert here. How bizarre is that? But it is underdog, I would say, our most recent champion. And we'll start off with them first. Turbofine, NHRL rank number 9. We just saw them win the October NHRL World Championships where they upset Bunkfish in the finals. Ubidins, welcome on our Instagram live chat. Turbofine, very impressive robot, 2-wheel drive vertical spinner, a little bit like machines like Fully Defined and Collide with its wide body, 2 big forks up front and the small spinner, very well driven. We've seen it before in their last events. And they're going to be joined by Mako. I believe these drivers are siblings, if I'm not mistaken. I believe I heard that during the last NHRL competition. Mako, of course, also, is it a champion or is it a finalist from the prior events? I know it's one of the two. They get mixed up, but Mako probably our best hammer saw, brand new hammer saw, especially in the 3-pound class, maybe even all of NHRL this year. It has been very solid. I love the name Mako. I'm a big shark head. CBL, Crazy Bunny Lab Robotics, welcome aboard on the live stream. Much love to you guys. Of course, Battle of Robots team right there. No Battle of Robots B qualifier. I want to say this real quick. No Battle of Robots B qualifier or finals rundown are out yet. I have recorded the B qualifier video. I have just been so backed up. Halloween, Thanksgiving, family stuff, Christmas shopping. It's that time of year. I always overbook my plate, and then I realize, oh my god, I have so much stuff to do outside of TCC. I don't know when I'm going to get it done. But like I always say, you can't delay a live stream, so I always make sure I get up for these. But yes, Turbofine and Mako, siblings in real life. NHRL rank 6 and 9. Very nice here. Not robots that we were talking about at all in the slides. In fact, I'm not even sure we knew these robots existed at the start of the year. Yet here they are in the NHRL finals. And here is Half-Life as well. I always find myself circling back to this lifter robot, Half-Life. Very unique design. Maybe not necessarily. A unique design for the 3-pound class, because you usually don't see the lifting robots have so much success here unless they're armed with like a flamethrower or something. Half-Life doesn't have that. Half-Life has been the piece of a few NHRL championship brackets getting deep into the primetime hours. They also have that famous win over Spitfire last year where they used the anti-Spitfire keep-away stick, almost like a rake kind of thing. That was a lot of fun. We saw that a couple of years ago. Or I should say last year, my apologies. But that was a different version of Half-Life. That was like a kitbot version of Half-Life. Half-Life we see here, and I hope this is accurate because I believe they said the picture was like from 2023 on the NHRL wiki, so I really do hope it's accurate. Sloma, welcome on the Instagram live. I mean, it looks good. It looks the part. I love the sturdy forks up front. Very Bronco, Toro-esque. You know, I'm a fan of that. You just got to have good control. You're taking on some of the deadliest spinners in the game, horizontal and vertical. You got to be at the top of your game. You got to be well controlled, and maybe we can do it because we've seen robots, control bots win it before, like Supreme Roller, like Crash Fest. Maybe Half-Life can join that group. And speaking of deadly horizontal spinners, we got the greatest challenge right here. A team I'm very fond of. We were originally going to face this robot first in the March event with the Combat Crusader with their 30-pound version of this robot. They could not get the robot working. A little unfortunate, but they did still manage to qualify for the NHRL finals with the greatest challenge, a robot which we've seen at the NHRL finals before, making deep runs. Arguably the best melty brain in Norwalk, Havoc, NHRL rank number 55. Hasn't competed too much this year, but still a very talented machine. Very fun to watch. It usually wins spectacularly or loses spectacularly. Parts come flying off either way. It's the lowest ranked robot of the 4 machines that we are covering in our underdogs and fan favorites, but don't count it out. This is a very, very solid robot. It could easily as lose to anyone, so it could easily as win to anyone. We're going to have to see what happens. Looking at the beetle weights, though, We talked about our underdogs, and you kind of see the little marking tab we have off to the side right there, to the right, top right, underdogs, and here we have our favorites. Underdogs are, of course, your wildcard designs, your unique designs. Welcome to the Instagram live stream, Captain Blanca and Neil. For our favorites, obviously, we have our former NHRL world champions, former top contenders, and our NHRL high ranking machines, such as our NHRL #1 ranked robot Caldera. And I might be mistaken. I don't know if Caldera has actually won an event this year. I hope I'm not discrediting Glenn Boxall because he has been nothing but sweet to me in the past. But regardless if he has won an event or not, he does have the top ranked beetleweight in the world right now, at least according to NHRL, with Caldera, a true OG of NHRL. You go back to the very beginnings of this competition, and this machine was here, rocking the orange, rocking the horizontal spinner, ripping parts apart. Ripping bots apart. And here they are once again. They have the rank to prove it. They're going to be a favorite against a lot of machines, but there are going to be some unique robots here that could potentially counter it. And we're looking at two in between right here. I will say, very convenient for me. I did not have to change this graphic much from our Beetleways to watch from our October event because we have Supreme Ruler and Monkfish on here once again. Monkfish, of course, from YO Robotics, supporters of TCC. NHRL ranked #8. They did not compete the entire year until the October event a couple of months ago. They did well. They made it all the way to the finals. They were the odds-on favorite to win that event, but they didn't. They got to the finals. They ended up losing to our buddy Turbo Fiend in a little bit of an upset, I would say. A big upset, in fact, I would say. Doesn't matter, though. They did still make the NHRL finals. Remy de Guzman and his wife. And here they are with another chance to do it all with their unique, very fun shuffling body and that big, deadly undercutter. Super excited to see this robot. It's going to have some tough competition. Maybe it will face its fellow polarizing partner, Supreme Ruler, of course, another buddy of mine, Jeff Waters from Las Vegas Combat Robotics, here with the robot that drummed up so much controversy at the 2023 NHRL Finals. Pretty much the whole reason why I don't do post-show streams anymore. I remember waking up that morning after the NHRL Finals 2023 and just reading 2 hours of chat logs trying to figure out the full story. And I was like, man, I don't want to get upset at, I don't want to get NHRL or Vegas Combat Robotics upset with me with any opinions. So we're just going to roll with the flow. Whatever happens, happens. I'm going to stick out of that one. But here we are. And here Supreme Ruler is NHRL ranked #2. We all thought it was going to dominate its way back to the NHRL podium last year. But, not last year. Last month when we saw it compete at the October event. I got to quit saying last year. But it didn't. Ended up falling into semifinals, but it still does have that NHRL #2 world ranking. It's going to be dominant. They're going to have the flamethrower mini bot there. It's going to be well driven with Jeff Waters there. It's going to have great control, as always, with those Supreme Ruler forks. And since they did take quite a beating during the last time we saw this robot compete, I would very much expect to see even sturdier forks on the Supreme Ruler for this event today. Who knows exactly what VCR has planned, but I'm quite excited to see it in action. We also have Silent Spring here, the #11th seed. You're going to be seeing a lot of G3 Robotics on these favorite lists, as always. And maybe Silent Spring isn't as big of a favorite as it has been in the past. It is a Robot Combat Hall of Famer. It is a very successful robot. We've seen it win gold in Bretts. We've seen it win gold in dumpsters. Forgot what they called those things for a second. And, it's no Lynx, but we also don't have Lynx here. Calvin Eba has not been able to participate in NHRL all year. We also don't have Red Storm here from Kevin Molcheski. Both those drivers are currently in Las Vegas right now, competing at BattleBots face-off, so best of luck to them. Same with RioBots, to be honest. Reason why all three of those NHRL finals regulars are not here this year, unfortunately. Bit of a bummer, but we do have Silent Spring, timeless, pretty much just as timeless as Caldera, if not longer, because Silent Spring also has a history outside of NHRL, well predating NHRL. But this design we see here with the shuffler and the undercutter is a very NHRL era design, taking advantage of the unique rule set. Very fascinating to see all of these robots compete as we take a quick look just for a second here at our round 1 matches in the 3-pound class. We have Turbo Fiend versus Catalyst, a battle of the vertical spinners. Tim McCarris taking on the lifter, Half-Life. Prom 3-da, We're going to be talking about Promhita in just a couple of moments. Promthrita is here taking on Scurryfest. Chubby Unicorn, a former NHRL champion, taking on Repeater. Red Panda taking on Radix. We've had Radix as a driver hanging out here in the past. Hopefully he's doing well. Probably very locked in today. I just realized I got kilobit issues with my live stream. Hopefully I'm coming through well to you guys. That's a little worrying. Let me check my Wi-Fi real quick. Just so I'm not like losing my stream constantly and I'm not realizing. I'll be right back, Instagram. I'll be right back, YouTube. Just 1 second. There we go. I mean, I don't know if that actually did anything. The only thing I have in this house besides what I'm currently using is my Amazon Alexa. So I went ahead and turned that thing off. Hopefully that did something. Mama Brew, welcome to the Instagram live stream. We are talking about the NHRL finals, running over every single fight and a bunch of the competitors, 24 in total that are competing at this event. Right now we're taking a look at round 1 action for the middleweight class. Vera Mirage, I'm not going to try to pronounce that last name. Welcome aboard to the Instagram live stream. Hope you're having a good morning. Impact versus Spartan stands out to me. That's another big time matchup. I believe that's a battle of Team Stamina team members, if I'm not mistaken. Lars Elliott and Johnny Sumpus right there. Super exciting. And 2 robots, here we go. Underdog versus Favorite, meeting in round 1. Silent Spring versus Greatest Challenge. 2 horizontal spinners. That's going to be fascinating. We also have Texas representing right here. Fully Defined and Knuckle Sandwich, both in the house with that picture right here. Is Warhard not on here? Timeout. Is Warhard not here? Where's Warhard? We also have Jelly Baby versus Eruption. Just to cover our bases. Where's Warhard? Let's go to the NHRL Discord. I guess we're doing a little bit of investigative journalism here. We're going to figure out what the hell happened to Warhard. I thought his robot was appearing. I mean, I saw on Instagram, I saw on Discord yesterday that they had a Team Texas robot. Well, maybe they just have a buy or something? I mean, this doesn't feel like the full field either. No. There's Warhard. I guess they don't have a round 1 match. Daniel Souza. Oh, hey. Thank you for the follow, Daniel Souza. I didn't know we got notifications like that on Instagram Live. Welcome aboard, and thank you for the follow. Okay, I just wanted to be sure I have my ducks in a row. Warhard is, in fact, at this event. It would have been very awkward for something we're going to be talking about later. But, yes, there we go. We took a look at the round 1 matches for the 12-pound class. Sorry, the 3-pound class. Now let's talk about the 12-pound class. And we'll start with the favorites this time instead of the underdogs. And we got quite a few monsters right here, including our reigning, defending NHRL World Champion in full court from downtown. Of course, coming from the Mad Catter team, this is a former Mad mini bot for Mad Catter, now making its own impact with a mini bot of its own. Look how cute. It's like a Russian doll system. Full Court is probably the only robot in NHRL right now that can get away with the weapon classification of Rammer. Of course, not officially a Rammer. You gotta have a moving weapon in NHRL, but I guess they've accepted they know what this robot is. It has some waggling control sticks at the top of the robot. Sometimes they're double as a lift. Not the most exciting robot, according to some drivers. I've always been a big fan of it because they usually have the steel chair weapon on the top, and that always is a good laugh. It is NHRL ranked number 3. It won last year. In the NHRL Grand Finals. Gonna have a pretty challenging field here today, though. Of course, it is the finals. Taking on all those 3 of those robots below it, and those underdogs will be covering in just a second. The Full Court's a great robot. very well driven, and you really got to watch out for the mini bot. That's no mini best. Sorry, that's not just any mini bot right there. That is indeed Thunderchild, a robot which we've seen make it to the grand finals before at BuggleBots. We've seen this robot win numerous competitions. It's driven by my buddy Nate Franklin, who I've known since the early days of online robot combat. Shout out Game Tech Mods. Maybe not its members so much, but definitely the website itself. Full cord, very well driven main bot, maybe even a better driven mini bot with Nate Franklin behind the wheel. They're going to be a favorite, and they're going to be the they're not going to be the underdog in many fights, but they might be the underdog against this next robot. Back talking about G3 Robotics, the elite team, the team which currently is our BattleBots champion, probably until the world ends. Who knows at this point? Evan DAC, I'm sorry, Idivon AC, I want to say the name is. Welcome to the Instagram live feed. We're talking about NHRL here, talking about heavyweights. Of course, probably his most meta robot right here, Saiko, coming from Jameson Go. NHRL ranked number 2. We've seen this robot win event after event after event. It has a career record of 26-7, which I'm honestly surprised it's lost 7 times. I don't remember seeing it lose 7 times. Saiko means excitement in Japanese, and this is an exciting robot. Big time destruction, hard to mess up. This robot has very little wasted space. It's hard to crack into this thing, get to that tasty lipo smoke. You're just not going to do it. You're going to have to find a way to outdrive, beat the ground game on a machine like Saiko. We've seen it done before in the past. Hopefully, or maybe not hopefully, depending on who you are. Perhaps we will see it again this time. But Saiko is almost a dead ringer guarantee for the Final Four, in my opinion. Inventor by Heart, welcome to the Instagram live stream. Next up, we got Maximizer, probably my favorite right here in terms of predictions and in terms of my heart. I love the University of Cincinnati, Ohio robots, and I love Jeff Hoffman. He is such an amazing personality for the sport. Hopefully we one day do get to see BattleBots come back on TV because he feels like a guy made for robot combat cable television, and he currently has the NHRL number 1 ranked robot at this weight class. And it was guy almost didn't make it at all. Event before last, Maximizer ended up, not making the Final Four at all. Like, they've been having a pretty strugglesome year this year. I mean, obviously they are still NHRL ranked number 1, but they pretty much had to require another team to qualify them into the championships, just depending on how the seeding works and the qualification system every event. In terms of the bracket leading to the NHRL finals, and he did get lucky. This cute guy just happened to make it in with his cute bot, and here they are. NHRL ranked number 1, Maximizer. An incredibly unique horizontal spinner with the Thagomizer style. We're going to have to see how it does. It's probably not going to do 0-2, that's for sure. It's a very solid robot. And then we have Prom Hada. And just like the Underdog moniker, this is also an interchangeable spot. You can almost put any team defective robot here because we have Voxel, we have Carmen, also from this team. These guys make vicious 4-wheel drive vertical spinners. It's pretty much what they're known for. It's what they do in the 12-pound class, and they are very successful at it. But this is Zach Knight, the leader of the team's main robot right here, Prom Hada, NHRL ranked number 6. It's been a great year for Prom Hada. We just talked a little bit about Prom 3, the 3-pound version of this robot finally finding its footing, making it to the NHRL finals in that class. Well, here's the OG version in the 12-pound division, rocking the black and pink. It looks great. And here they are. Very excited to see them and let's talk about the Underdogs. And once again, hard to call this first robot an underdog because we literally just saw it win an NHRL championship. But it is a little bit of a unique design compared to some of the other vertical spinners in the field. It's also the only representative from Team Huge, as you can tell by the design in the field here. Coming from Business Cat, it is Salam Plan. NHRL ranked number 8 after just 1 event. Currently undefeated inside the arena. It is a huge style 12-pounder with chambered wheels. Very unique. The robot's destructive. It is well driven. Business Cat, of course, was pretty much known for his control bots before making this machine. And now he is here with Slam Plan. Highly ranked, top 10 in the rankings, coming here as the defending monthly NHRL champion. And hey, we've seen Team Huge robots be very good at this weight class in the past. In fact, take it back to 2022, the NHRL finals. We saw Ooge from Team Disco and Team Huge go all the way in the 12-pound class and end up becoming our annual champions for an entire year. at NHRL. Now Slam Plan look to take that crown back after after full court stopped them from going back to back last year. But what about the rest of this list? So we got ourselves a little bit of a team honey-cracked expose here, a little bit of a showcase for this squad. We got Buzzkill, NHRL ranked number 5, Bumble Blitz, NHRL ranked number 9, and Plus One Minum, NHRL ranked number 46. Buzzkill is the only undercutter outside of the Thagomizer style robots. I believe, I hope I'm correct with that, in the NHRL 12-pound class at this finals competition here. They are ranked number 5. They haven't been the most solid working robot. I got to admit, I feel like we've seen them have their own struggles throughout the numerous NHRL competitions Buzzkill has been entered at this year. But they did do well enough to make it to a Final Four at least once at one of those competitions. So here they are. Maybe a true underdog, maybe not. They are NHRL ranked number 5, which is higher than the next two robots. And speaking of the next two robots, we have Bumble Blitz, the 4-wheel drive hammer saw robot. When we first covered this robot as a highlight machine back in our January NHRL preview, all we had was a CAD. Well, this ain't a CAD. This is the OG drawing. This is the actual picture of the robot right here. My bad, jeez. 4-wheel drive, short forks up front. They also have a mini bot, which is not pictured here. And it is a 4-wheel drive hammer saw design like we've seen in the past with quite a few successful machines in the NHRL 30-pound class, 12-pound class, among other smaller weight classes around the world. And we also have one of these in the 30-pound class in our underdog section there as well. A little bit of a spoiler, gotta say it. Very excited though to see Bumble Blitz with a design like that, with so many robots that do have flat tops, like Buzzkill, like Psycho, like Prom Hater, maybe even like Full Court. You swing that hammer saw down in the right spot, you're potentially hitting a lipo, and we are seeing some beautiful smelling smoke. Jeremy Goodman, welcome to the Instagram live stream. And to follow that, with our only hammer saw in the 12-pound class, we have our only... Actually, I just realized we have an underdog hammer saw in all 3 of our tabs for all 3 weight classes. Kind of fascinating. But the only cluster bot we have is Plus One Minum, ranked number 46 at NHRL. We saw this robot debut a few months back. It got a little NHRL short, but everything was super effective against it. They did not do well. But over designs, they have slowly figured this robot out. It is now NHRL ranked number 46. It's a former semifinalist. It has done pretty well over the last 2 competitions. And they also have the best carrying case. Watch how they bring this robot out, or robots out, for their first fight. And they literally have giant 3D printed Pokeballs, which they come out of. It is super cool. I'm in love with it. Team Honeycracked is an awesome team. Awesome people. Obviously, I love the school teams. I know a few people from Maryland, so it's always good to see the Marylanders doing very well. When they ain't crab fishing, they're making some pretty solid combat robots. And now, let's take a minute here and take a look at the 12-pound bracket. Checking our Instagram, checking our YouTube live stream, actually. Still a pretty quiet chat. That's fine with me. We can all observe in peace as we take a quick hop over to the bracket here, see exactly what we have in hand for us. And we got about 12 fights. 3 of them are cut off. Let me see if I can fix that for y'all. Ooh, that's kind of better. We got Maximizer versus Son of Cram. Son of Cram coming from the team which has brought us Banshee, Team Small Robot. Says a Drumbot versus Undercutter. Should be fascinating. Honeyfied, another Team Honeycracked robot, will be taking on Drew Davis, longtime NHRL veteran with the 4-wheel drive bird Blackjack. Former NHRL event winner Blue Marlin is taking on Questionable Choices. I believe both of those robots were from the NHRL January event. Fascinating to see. Slam Plan from Business Cat, representing Team Huge, is taking on Creature. I believe the only lifter in the 12-pound class at this competition. Could have been Underdog as well. I could have put it, but I forgot, I must admit. Underdog versus Favorite here. This is quite fascinating because it's G3 Robotics again, facing another Underdog we have listed. Psycho will have double duty taking on Plus and Minen. That's going to be very interesting to see. Caldera 12. We're talking about Caldera again. Caldera 12, maybe not as successful as its 3-pound counterpart. Much newer, but it has qualified here. They're taking on Steggy. Minor Threat 5, a robot I swear to God, every time it competes, I predict to win. It never wins, but always does well enough to qualify for the NHRL finals. It's a robot we saw win Motorama last year. It's a very solid machine, and it's going to take on a familiar foe in Team Defective with Carmen. That should be a very fun battle of the classic verts. Prom Haida, speaking of Team Defective, will take on Fort Worth's own, representing, baby, Hooligan. Very excited to see that match. I really hope we see Hooligan do well. Bumble Blitz, the Hammer Saw bot, takes on Void. Full Court, the defending NHRL World Champion, takes on Junkernaut. I don't know anything about Junkernaut. Couldn't tell you what it is. Very fascinating to see what that is. Buzzkill takes on the other Team Gator Robotics competitor alongside Hooligan, Doppelgator. Double vertical spinner taking on Undercutter. Fascinating. And then we got Battle Tots. I lied. I absolutely lied to you all. We have 2 cluster bots in this weight class. My bad. And Battle Tots, of course, the replica BattleBots, Mini-Bots, taking on Amphisvina. Battle of the vertical spinners there. Should be very fun. Looking at this field of robots, though, I mean, I really hope we get to see BattleTots versus Pustle and Minen. Pustle and Minen versus Psycho should be super exciting. Slam Plant versus Creature should be a battle of the wild cards. Caldera 12 and Prom Hita will be very busy in multiple weight classes. Maximizers versus Sonic Cram just feels like an all-star battle, as does Minor Threat 5 versus Carmen. A lot to be excited about here. But now, let's move forward and talk about the big boys. The 30-pounders, going up to 45 pounds in weight, as you guys know, with NHRL's unique rule set. And you want to look at favorites for this event? Talk about a murderer's row, guys. Look at these 4 machines. Single-digit ranked robots. The lowest ranked robot here is NHRL number 6 ranked, and that robot is our most recent crowned champion. Where do we want to start here, guys? There's no bad pick. Let's go ahead and start, though, with our reigning, defending NHRL World Champion back-to-back. That's right. This robot... Wait a minute. Yeah, no, that's true. This robot won the 2022 World Championships. This robot won the 2023 World Championships. It is Bots FC. No, they have not been bought by William Shatner, but they are here. Oh, accidentally did something stupid on Instagram. We're back. Okay, there we go. My apologies. Of course, Matthew Boers driving the robot. Adam Wrigley, Eric Wrigley, Mary. They're all going to be hanging out there, helping this robot get all the way through. Since Knockoff White sadly did not qualify this year. Did we even see Knockoff White this year? I feel like we might have it. It's escaping my brain. But I know for a fact we haven't seen Emulsifier this year. It showed up for its one event, I want to say in like April. It won its way in, and they said, all right, we'll see you guys in December. That's exactly what they've done. NHRL ranked number 3 because of the inactivity. NHRL ranked number 1 robot has been a little bit more active this year. And NHRL ranked number 2 is actually Kablooey Tango, who was so active and so successful last year. Even though they have skipped this year, they're still NHRL number 2 ranked. That's pretty impressive. But yes, Emulsifier is here. They have the treads. They have the big sturdy vertical spinner. They have the even sturdier wedge at the front. They have incredibly well driven. And it's going to be hard to beat them. If you're going to want to become the NHRL World Champion, you're probably going to have to get through Emulsifier at some point during this competition. And Emulsifier is never a tough out. It's not going to be a tough out even for these next 3 robots on our list to talk about here, including Ares, the only newcomer here, the only robot here which has not appeared in past NHRL World Championships. We talk about the growth of robots and the influence of MIT in the sport, especially during this reboot era, 2015 onward, with robots like Overhaul, Sawblaze, of course, Brutus, Road Rash, Uppercut, so many designs. Well, right now it's the era of Ares, NHRL ranked number 6. We saw this robot debut earlier this year. I want to say it debuted at the same event the Combat Crusader debuted in. I remember because I completely underrated the robot. I didn't know much about it. And then after the fact, they were like, "Do you want to face us now?" And I'm like, no, I'm glad we didn't, because I would have fucked around and found out with this design. Ares has been absolutely terrifying. Maybe Rookie of the Year overall for NHRL this year. Unstoppable. The new era of Massachusetts Institute of Technology Builders is no joke. They're as scary as the last, maybe even more scary. Stefan Zitterson, I believe I read that name right. Welcome to the Instagram live stream. But one MIT robot, I guess they are. Jameson Go just isn't an MIT for all eternity, but they fall under that classification just because it's what we knew them for at the start. Another MIT robot, or MIT team, I guess I should say. that we all do know very well. Of course, we're back to G3 Robotics. It is Megatron, the #1 inked NHRL robot here. They probably would have they won a golden dumpster this year? I want to say they have, but I don't know for certain. I know recently they appeared event before last and made it all the way to the finals and then forfeited against Yahoo because of damages. No forfeiting here, of course. This is the NHRL finals for Jameson Go. And this version of Megatron, it is not like Megatrons we've seen in the past. I know I've said it many times before to Havoc this year, but obviously looking at it face first, you see the deadly saw blade style hammer saw, you see the saw blade style vertical spinner, you see the 3 wedges, you see that classic hammer saw design that Jameson Go has perfected. But look at the back there, we got treads on this robot, hanging far and behind. This is something that I know he wants to try bringing to saw blades in the future, just for the sake of better traction. It does make a robot a little less robust. It's an easy target to get ripped apart by like a horizontal spinner or maybe a very precise vert. But, I mean, it has seemed to work so far this year, and we'll have to see what happens moving forward. But Megatron has looked very solid this year. I gotta know if this robot's won an event this year. NHRL 2024 season results. History of NHRL 2024. Oh, that's bright. Mega. Come on, Control F. Megatron. I refuse to believe that. Okay. Moccasin won the January event? I completely forgot about it. Oh, wow, they just haven't updated the thing at all. I see what's going on here. Come on, NHRL. They have literally one event to work off of. Well, let's just do it the old-fashioned way. This lighting is making my beard look bad. We gotta get out of here. So no, it has not won an event this year. It made it to the semifinals in April, made it to the finals in September, and then pulled out. Who has it lost to this year? We gotta know this. It lost to Chonky on a judge's decision. That's right. That was a phenomenal fight. Go back and watch that one for sure. Especially after it beat it to kick off the event. Okay. So yeah, that's right. Everything here is correct. The last time it's lost by knockout was to Emulsifier. I mean, you got to admit, those two robots are probably on a collision course for another NHRL finals meeting. Also, just like Emulsifier and Megatron, also a Golden Brett winner. They won it in 2021. So we have both of our NHRL world champions right here. And I'll have my opinions on that later. I have a very interesting thought. Thale, welcome to the Instagram live stream. Finally, though, we have Vorion. Had a little bit of struggle. There were so many good robots to pick for this fourth and final spot on the favorites page, but I did eventually end up deciding on Vorion from Brandon Bennett Young, the world travel team now of Bone Dead Robotics, I should say, not from the world travel team of Bone Dead Robotics. There you go. NHRL ranked number 5. Phenomenon did not make it this year, I do not believe. Maybe I'm mistaken. Watch me be wrong. But we do have Vorion here, the sequel to Phenomenon, with a much better paint job, much better weapon, and Shreemec too on top of it. It's been very successful in the past. We've seen it take out drivers such as Jameson Go, such as Ray Billings, such as, the University of Georgia Tech, I should say. My apologies. Been very successful in the past. I want to say they made it all the way to the NHRL World Championship Finals last year, and they lost to Emulsifier. I feel like I would have to fact check that one. But Vorion, a deadly vertical spinner, much similar to Emulsifier in its design. In fact, I'm pretty sure there was some obvious inspiration there outside the fact that it's a wheeled robot instead of a treaded robot, such as Emulsifier and Megatron. We're going to have to see what happens here. Very fascinating to see teams like G3 Robotics and Bots FC really trying to get the treaded robot lifestyle back on the map. Maybe we can see these designs. Well, I know for at least obviously Emulsifier. We know Emulsifier has treads. Maybe one day we can see Sawblaze bring out that tread design too. Maybe Red Horn won't be the best treaded heavyweight, tracked heavyweight in the world for much longer. 4 more robots to look at here, though. And just like with the 3-pound class, I got kind of lucky here because the first 2 robots were the first 2 robots that we talked about on our featherweights to watch in our last live stream for the October live stream. We have some really fun designs here. We have hammers, we have a rotary lifter, we have a bird, we have a flamethrower. Let's take a look here. Of course, we have Mr. Roper, another robot which has defeated my boy, the Combat Crusader. Shouts to Team 52. We took the beating to that robot, but it's in the finals, and we aren't. They are NHRL ranked number 52. They've shown up for event after event after event after event. Team Eel Monkey with Tom Farkas and the rest of the crew. And it's such a fun little robot. It's a toolbox with wheels and little measuring squares as wedgelets, and then it has wrenches for fists. It's such a fun design. It just sputters around. It has the little swingy-do arms. It's so aggressive. It is insanely aggressive, and it's also insanely sturdy from what we've seen in the past. It's going to be taking on some very, very, very game machines. We just talked about 4 of them, in fact, with Ares, Megatron, Emulsifier, and Boreon. Oh, those robots could probably leave a gash in Mr. Roper, but are they going to be able to knock out Mr. Roper? It's a whole different question. One robot that might be a little bit easier to knock out, but a robot you cannot underestimate. After 3 events, a one-time NHRL event winner from Ricky Willems, the genius, which has brought us Mammoth. Ricky Willems, probably the funniest commentator at NHRL. It's always a blast to hear him talk. We have Moccasin. NHRL ranked number 31. Pretty straightforward here. This is a 30-pound version of Mammoth. Even though I feel like wasn't Mammoth a 30-pounder at first? Maybe I'm mistaken in that. So I know obviously in 2018 it was heavyweight. It took the sport by storm. Everyone loved it. But before that, wasn't it called baby shoes or something in the 12 or 30-pound class in Florida? I might be mistaken. I might be wrong on that. Correct me if I am. But Moccasin, NHRL ranked number 31. We saw it do very well at the New Bots event where it was a lot of very conceptual designs. They had that going for them. We saw in the October event and the April event, which they take on a bit more of a meta field of robots, they aren't so lucky. We saw, and that's kind of why they've been knocked down to NHRL ranked number 31 after such a strong start in January. But you can't count out Ricky Willems. He's a BattleBots level driver. And we know that this Mammoth design, it can beat the most elite robots. We've seen it beat machines such as Huge in the past. You just got to get that rotary lifter in the right spot so you can throw these machines across the arena. And one robot with a lot of jagged edges and wedges and weapon arms so you can potentially grab onto is Colossal Avian. How about that for a transition? NHRL ranked number 14, just like Moccasin. This robot appeared at the very first NHRL event this year, the New Bots January event. Did very well, made it all the way to the semifinals. But unlike Moccasin, and this is where that ring rust might end up playing a factor, Colossal Avian has not appeared at all this entire year. That's right. They showed up to the January event. They did incredibly good with this design. They said, all right, we've qualified. We're good. We'll see y'all in December. And here they are. It's December the 7th. And the Colossal Avian has flown back into shore. The Norwalk docks, I should say. 4-wheel drive hammersaw design. Hammersaws in all 3 classes. Look at that. We have Mako, we have Bumbleblitz, and now we have Colossal Avian. Much more similar to Bumbleblitz, but we have a much wider body, longer forks at the front, no mini butt this time, and a much shorter weapon arm. So that thing's really going to come down with some proper snap there. Should do some damage. You know, we were just talking about the flat tops that some of these robots have, and who's going to be exposed. I'm sure Ares doesn't want to face Colossal Avian. Look at that body. Plenty of surface area to hit. Same with Mr. Roper, even though they probably could take some hits. One robot which certainly does not want to face this machine, Harshan, welcome to the Instagram live stream, is Kazal Light. NHRL ranked number 23, I should say. It is all flat top. There is no weapon to protect this flat top outside of the flamethrower. This is our, outside of Clyde in the 3-pound class, a robot which I really didn't know who I want to put as a favorite or an underdog because it can be both, I feel like. Unique weapon, but it does have a track record. We have Kazal Light here, though, in the 30-pound class. A 30-pound flamethrower. It's going to be really trying to take advantage of that wedge and that ramming speed to bully robots all around the arena during this competition today. But they have got to be careful. I hope they brought them spare bodies. You know, look at all those flamethrower tanks inside the robot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in total. They're trying to get a butt barbecue going. Maybe you're trying to cook Brett the Brick in the process, or whatever the heavyweight version of Brett is named. They have to watch out. I mean, imagine Colossal Avian getting that long middle fork under the rear end of Kazal Light and just whapping that hammer saw down onto one of those, or maybe even multiple of those flame tanks. It will be beautiful for us watching at home. Beautiful for those in the crowd in the very well protected NHRL arenas. Probably not the best for the Kazaa team, who show up with their third version of Kazaa here, Kazaa Light. We've seen Kazaa with Itty Bitty. Here's Kazaa Light, easily the most successful at the 23rd rank here at Norwalk Havoc. I got a quick say Norwalk Havoc. I'm so bad about that. National Havoc Robot League. We're worldwide now, baby. We saw Al Roker drive Brett the Brick last year. You don't see BattleBots with Al Roker. But I digress. Let's go ahead and take a look at our bracket for the 30-pound class. We got some fights actually happening right now, it looks like. I don't know if this is like accurate or they're just saying that these will be the first fights when we get the live stream going. And also, look at that. I was proven wrong. Phenomenon has, in fact, qualified. So there you go, Brandon Bennett Young with 2 robots qualified. No Fracas this year. I do love my control bots. I love Fracas, but I think the team will be more than happy with 2 robots qualified. It's a shame Mind Flayer didn't qualify either. I know I hyped it up, and I'll probably hype it up next year too, but no Mind Flayer. Just the Verts in the 30-pound class for the team. But we have Phenomenon taking on Moccasin. That's a very tough draw for Moccasin very early on. B-Force taking on Anxiety. 2 university teams which are showing up with multiple robots here. Team Honeycracked versus the Robo Jackets. Super exciting. Colossal Avian takes on UK's Nitro Oxide. You might notice we have left off all of our international robots. We'll get to them in just a second. Waddles, the Undercutter, yeah? It's like a shuffling Undercutter. Want to say they're from WPI. They're taking on Mr. Roper. Should be an interesting test for Mr. Roper. Usually the top bit of Mr. Roper takes all the damage. What about that bottom bit? We're going to have to see what happens. 2 World Eaters meeting here with Synthesis 30 versus Ares. Absolute monsters. Team Pandemonium taking on the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. And now, speaking of universities, you get this. Georgia Tech Civil War. Tsunami taking on Chonky, or Chonkiv, depending on what you want to call it. It is a shuffling full body spinner taking on a 30-pound egg beater, I want to say, if I'm right. Usually we've seen Georgia Tech struggle at the Norwalk Havoc. Sorry, there I go, doing it again. The NHRL competitions in the past, but they've gotten 3 robots into this 30-pound class. They ought to be happy with themselves. We also have Mirage taking on Pegasus, the only Brazilian robot at this competition. And then Warhard, Double XL, representing the great state of Texas once again, taking on Kazaa Light. So there's just more proof that the 3-pound Warhard probably also in the house today. Checking the YouTube chat, still nobody hanging out there. We do have 2 viewers right now, so shouts to you guys. Much love to y'all. But there you go, guys. Looking at our field of robots here. Conspicuous by their absence, though, looking here, is Mini Monsoon. Hurricane. Hurricane is here, right? They're just not fighting in round 1. There they are. Hurricane right there. Sigh of relief. Maybe a little bit of a picture of Mirage right there. 2-wheel drive Verts. Nice to see. But yes, if you might notice, I have not talked about the 2 UK robots, Nitro or Hurricane. I haven't talked about the Brazilian robot. That's because, you know, NHRL usually, we've seen in the past with the 2023 and 2022 finals, usually quite a few international names here. Usually we'll see a bunch of Brazilian robots from like HEVS, Riobots, Uriah. None of them are here this time. Usually we have like a smatter of Latin American robots and Canadian robots, and then a smatter of European robots. Not really the case this time. We have, across the 3 weight classes, 4 internationals competing this time around. Unless there's just some Canadian robot that I have no clue is Canadian. It's very likely. But I do want to highlight those 4 robots because, you know me, I love international representation in robot combat. I love seeing a world championship truly feel like a world championship. Well, even though we only have 4 flags represented at this World Championship event. We do have 4 flags, and we're going to take a look at some of those flags right here, starting with the only non-30-pounder representing international competition. That's right, only Americans in the 12-pound class. But Johnny Supas, we talked about him a little bit earlier. He's going to be facing his teammate Lars Elliott with Impact in the first round, probably here before the end of the hour. It is Spartan, a longtime competitor here at National Havoc Robot League. They represent the Bahamas. It is a very fascinating region which has not been represented at all in the world of robot combat until Johnny Sumpas came around with machines like Spartan, Spartan X. They're trying to get into BattleBots with their Nightmare-inspired machine After Image. But right here they do have the OG Spartan with the, God, what's that weapon? Is that like, is that the Triton weapon? No, that's not the Triton weapon. Who has that weapon? The Bloodsport style weapon on the front of the spinner, the asymmetric horizontal spinner. They're going to be the only international representative in the 3-pound class. Does Johnny even live in Bahamas anymore? I know he still represents it, but I'm not fully certain. They are here, though. We also have Nitro Oxide, of course, from AR Designs in England. I thought they were Irish this entire time. I was like looking up to make sure they weren't Irish, and they in fact aren't Irish. So that's nice to know. Air Designs, though, is here for a second straight year with Nitro. It's actually a multi-bot. They also have a control bot named Oxide that is working alongside Nitro. But we only have Nitro pictured here. Is your classic 2-wheel drive drum bot, a mainstay at Labman Fight Fest, the most popular, the most prominent, the most influential small bots event over in Europe. Another machine, of course, over from Europe is Hurricane from Team Tauron, best known for Monsoon. This is a mini Monsoon. Welcome to the live stream, Patrick. And I had some frustration with this in the chats, the NHRL chats, and the King of Draft chats, and the TCC chats on Discord after the event. I kind of question if Hurricane should have qualified over some other robots during that NHRL event, which it appeared in, where we got to see Hurricane versus Megatron twice during that competition, didn't we? I feel like that's accurate. It was the same competition where Megatron forfeited in the final round. I remember, I think Hurricane made it, to the semifinals, but it was off like a controversial decision. You know what, let me go back. I want to go back and take a look at this, because I want to make sure I have my story right. I believe there was some situation, and I felt like there was a wrong decision being made. I want to make sure I have my story right, though. Oh, yeah, it was against Warheart Double XL. Well, all is well that ends well. Warheart Double XL did end up qualifying. Welcome to the Instagram live feed, Deep Snake, as we're wrapping it up here. Well, all is well that ends well then. Warheart Double XL did end up qualifying. I'm going to be cheering for it, even though it's not my pick to win. We'll get to that in a second, though. Finally, like I mentioned, usually we've seen AGVS robots be here. We've seen, of course, Riobots be here. Well, Riobots is currently busy with BattleBots face-offs right now, so that might be why they didn't focus on NHRL this time around. We also usually have Uriah here with machines like Zupacabra. Not the case. This year it was all about Troia Robotics from Brazil, a team the BattleBots fans don't really know about yet. In fact, nobody really knows about, because these guys primarily compete Championship, Robo Challenge, RoboCore in Brazil, the numerous competitions over there. Obviously, it is very Brazil style, very Toro inspired with its design. But it's also the only Brazilian robot which has qualified for the NHRL Championships this year. So for that's just for that alone, Latin American representation, a true superpower of the sport, it's good to see them here. You don't want to see the Brazilian teams fade away, because they might just come back twice as deadly next year. But there you go, guys. That's our 4 robots to take a look at here that are international at this competition. Spartan from the Bahamas, Nitro and Hurricane from England, and Pegasus from Brazil. And finally, to highlight everything before we take a look at our predictions, because we are in our dying minutes here before we got to go back and watch some NHRL. In the Beetleways to Watch category for our favorites, we have G3 Robotics Silent Spring, the controversial from Vegas Combat Robotics Supreme Ruler, the #1 ranked from BNS Robotics Caldera, and from YO Robotics Monkfish. Underdogs in the 3-pound class, we have the Melty Brain, Greatest Challenge, The Lifter, Half-Life. And from siblings, Mako and Turbo Fiend, they have been very successful at the most recent 2 NHRL competitions. Will that success carry? They certainly have the momentum. In the 12-pound class, our reigning, defending NHRL World Champion, Full Court, coming in, NHRL rank number 3. Also from G3 Robotics, driven by Jameson Go, Psycho, NHRL rank number 2. NHRL rank number 1 from the University of Cincinnati, the Bearcat. Maximizer, captained by Jake Hoffman, the Thagomizer style design, and then representing Team Defective, like a couple of robots are in the 12-pound class, Prom Hada. Underdogs here, 3 machines from Team Honeycracked. We got Buzzkill, Bubble Blitz, and Plusle and Minen. And then we have Slam Plan representing Team Huge, driven by Business Cat. This robot won our most recent NHRL monthly event in October. Finally, Murderer's Row in the featherweight class. Emulsifier, Ares, Megatron, and Vorion. Any of these teams could leave with the Golden Dumpster. Big Red Van Robotics, welcome to the Instagram live feed. Emulsifier and Megatron, they have left with the Golden Dumpster in the past. Ares and Vorion want to join them. Will they? We're just going to have to see. Interesting designs here to cap it off. Fun machines. Mr. Roper, the wild card of wild cards. They just barely qualified with the very, very last finals qualification spot. Last time we saw them in the October event. Here they are. They got to make the most of it. Qualifying before anyone else, meanwhile, was Moccasin after they won the January event. But momentum has not been on their side. They got to change something here. Colossal Avian, we have not seen it since January. Will the 11th month gap affect this robot? We're going to have to see. And then finally, the biggest flamethrower robot we've seen this year, the biggest flamethrower robot at this championship event, one of 2, it's Kazaa Lied. NHRL rank number 23. We hope they don't face that hammer saw. Our international competitors representing Bahamas, Team Stamina with Spartan. Representing the UK, Team Toron and AR Designs with Hurricane and Natural Oxide. And our sole Brazilian representative, Pegasus. That's a mouthful. And I'm surprised it didn't lose breath once during that. As finally, we have one thing left to look at, guys. You know what it is? It is our final predictions of the year. And I like them this year. I like my predictions this time around. I gotta say it. So what are they? Well, here they are. What do we think, guys? What do we think? Let me take a drink real quick. I'll explain. Oh, man. My voice is going to be shot today at work. Well, in the 3-pound class, we have Warhard. In July, I predict this robot. I said, fuck it. You know what? I'm going to predict my Texan compadre, Team War Easy, do it all right here and win this spot. And I was right. I finally predicted one of these. So I'm going to ride that prediction to the bank this time and say that Warhard is going to leave Norwalk Havoc today. I did it again, dang it. National Havoc today as our Golden Dumpster holder. Much richer, bringing that championship to Houston, bringing it to the Lone Star State. Hopefully one of the Texans do it. I mean, I know we have Peter Garnache here. We have Repeat Robotics. We have Knuckle Sandwich. We have a few options for Texas to do some damage here. But Warheart stands out as my favorite. 12-pound class. This robot surprisingly has never won a Golden Dumpster. I know it's absolutely insane. We have Maximizer. They have not had a good year at all this year, even though they have made the finals just barely. Jake Hoffman still has the number 1 ranked 12-pounder in the world, but will it be after this event? I think it will be. I think they're going to come through. The cream will rise to the crop, and this will be Maximizer's all-time greatest event against a very game field. And finally, in the 30-pound class, we've been talking about it since we talked about the featherweights. We have Emulsifier and Megatron, the 2 robots which have won NHRL 30-pound annual championships. Megatron won the first one. Emulsifier has won the most recent 2. Well, I think it's time for a sandwich because I think Megatron is going to take this thing home today. Maybe even defeating Emulsifier in the grand finals. We're going to have to see how it goes down. I am going to say it, though. Megatron, it's going to come over past demons like Emulsifier, like Chonky, and it's going to take him here. I don't think it's going to be as good of an event for G3 Robotics. I think Psycho might make Final Four. I don't think Silent Spring is going to do too well, despite the fact I labeled it as a favorite. But I think Megatron will be in the finals at the very least, and I'm going to go ahead and predict them to win it all. So there you go, guys. TAM Robotics, welcome along on the live stream. Final predictions here. 3-pound class, Team War Easy with War Hard. 12-pound class, University of Cincinnati with Maximizer. And the 30-pound class, the GOATs. I got my saw blades right here. I'm predicting them to do it. Megatron, our 2024 30-pound champion. That's what I'm going to say. But guys, you can hear it in my voice. It is shot, and I got a lot more to do today. So we're going to see how long I hold up. I only slept for like 3 hours last night. So, but thank you guys so much for watching this live stream on Instagram or on YouTube Live. This is, what is this, the 6th or 7th live stream I've done this year because of NHRL, not including the RoboGame stream, which was also a good time. I have yet to miss an event this year. I made it all the way through without missing an event. I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of anyone who was tuned in for every single one. And here's to another year of doing this. 2025 is going to be another year. 4 years of the Combat Collective so far. It's kind of crazy to think about. We've been doing this since 2021 now, and we only want to get better. I'm bringing back Robot Combat tonight, hopefully for 2025. That's going to be exciting. And of course, expect Battle of Robots rundowns for the B qualifier and for the Grand Finals qualifier. Grand Finals qualifier. My brain's fucked. For the Grand Finals event, which happened a couple weeks ago. Shouts to Daddy for winning that. And probably going to do a breakdown for the Extreme Robots European Championships when that comes out. I haven't done Extreme Robots breakdowns this year much. I did 2, and they brought in like -3 views. So I said, I'm not doing this anymore. I got to find a better way to cover them. And MechMania too. Expect MechMania stuff in the future whenever videos for that event come out. But that's going to wrap it up here at the Combat Collective. You've seen enough of my face. Let's start seeing some robots. Thank you guys so much for an amazing year of live streams. This has been a lot of fun, despite what my voice might be telling me right now. Let's go ahead and watch some robot fights, guys. You guys have a great morning, a great Christmas, a great December. We'll see you in the new year and during our rundown videos for Battle of Robots. They will be before the year's over. Thank you guys so much. You guys have a great one.